Let's bring in Robert McCracken now. We heard from Carl Froch before the news. Robert is training him. He's also head coach of GB Boxing, which oversees Britain's Olympic boxers. Evening, Robert.
Yeah, how you doing?
Well, have you got a favourite stadium fight that you've witnessed?
There's been many of them, to be honest.
Did you fight in one?
No, not myself. Probably the most exciting fight I've seen outside of one of Carl Froch's fights was probably Barrera against Morales. That's probably the best fight I've seen, I think.
So before the news, Carl was telling us about the fight against Arthur Abraham in the Super Sixes, and also talking quite a bit about Michael Kessler. He clearly thinks there's a score to settle there.
Yeah, I mean, as the tournament all falls after the Abraham fight, Carl wins the Abraham fight. Hopefully the draw will fall in Carl's favour so we can get a shot at Kessler again. And I think most people would agree that Carl would start the favourite in a rematch. Genuine boxing people, because I think there'll only be one winner in the rematch.
Yeah, he obviously has a sense of grievance from what happened first time round in Denmark. Is that a good thing, do you think? Is that inspiring him to greater heights, or is there a danger that he's a little bit obsessed by what happened?
No, I think he's quite professional and stuff. A few things went wrong before, as the fellows in the studio are aware, that the travel was a bit of a nightmare, the ash clouds and stuff, so we arrived very late. And Carl's one of them type of boxers that, you know, he's very slim, he doesn't have a lot of weight on him and stuff, and to travel with him to places 2 or 3 days before is never ideal. All boxers are different, and it was a real problem. And the fight's over and done now. You know, it's history. Carl's put it to the side. Abraham next, and hopefully we'll get Kessler in the semi-final. He was a great fighter, don't get me wrong. Had a fantastic career, but we're highly confident that Carl will be victorious in the rematch.
Robert, talking about your work with the top amateurs now in Sheffield, on Tuesday it'll mark 2 years until London 2012. What state are we in as far as amateur boxing is concerned?
I think we're in a very good state. I think obviously we came back from the European Championships in Russia in June, and we won 5 medals, 3 silvers and 2 bronzes. Felt we was unfortunate, felt we could have had a couple of goals out there and another silver, but fantastic performance from the boys, and it shows that we're moving completely in the right direction in terms of strength in numbers. To get 5 medals at such a tough elite tournament shows that there's real potential there, and there's 3 or 4 more that haven't come through yet that we're very confident here of emulating the success the boys in Russia had. So I think, you know, by 2012 we'll be in a real strong position. We'll have a really strong team.
Because people listening who don't necessarily know amateur boxing that well might think, well, the European Championships are not the Olympics or the World Championships, but they are a particularly difficult competition to get medals at, aren't they?
Well, I mean, in some cases they're tougher than both. You can get an easy draw in the Olympics. If you get the right draw, you can draw, you know, the lesser nations, and the same in the World Championships. The Europeans, it's pretty much all the top countries there, and it's as tough as you get in amateur boxing. So for the success, for the boys to have the success they had out there, speaks volumes for the potential that they've got already at an early stage. You know, for me it was 9 months too early, but you know, we got to build up a little bit at the higher weights. You know, let's not get that wrong. You know, we got to get things in place there. We got some boxers moving through at those weights, and I'm sure, like I say, in the next 18 months, 2 years, that we'll have strengthened up at the higher weights, and we should have a very strong team going into London.
Rob, you talk about strengthening at the higher weights, and one of the best tournaments for that, you know, proven over the years, is the Commonwealth Games. You know, still difficult enough to win. You've got to fight 4 or 5 times. They don't give away medals at the Commonwealth Games, but they're a lot friendlier than the Olympics, a lot friendlier than the Europeans, and a lot friendlier than the Worlds. Now, Delhi's upon us. How much of a say will you have in selecting the boxers that go out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll have a big say in the boxers that go there. We'll do it as part of a selection panel, but obviously my say will be you know, the vast majority of that say. We're going to pick a very strong team, and the couple of weights that, you know, you touched on in terms of the heavier weights. We're going to pick the right boxers. Obviously, it's the Commonwealth Games. It's not an elite tournament, but
Sure.
it still can be tough. There can be, you can get a couple of Africans, you can get a Canadian or two,
Yeah.
so it can still be tough. So we'll pick the right boxers, and the good thing is that we've got the Four Nations in Sheffield where we can have a look. We'll have boxers boxing at 91 plus, 91, and obviously 69, 75. So those are the sort of weights that we're looking to strengthen up at. But we can have a look in the Four Nations, the 7th and 8th of August in Sheffield. We've got the Kazakhs, the French, and the Chinese coming over, so that'll be really interesting for us and for obviously amateur boxing fans. But I think we'll know where we're going after that Four Nations in August, to be honest.
Well, what's this thing next week during this WBC sort of Night of Champions? 83 world champions are going to be down in Cardiff, including some of the biggest names from the last 30 odd years. And you've got a GB squad going down there to boxing on the Friday night. Is that right?
Yeah, we're boxing against the rest of the world. There's the rest of the world select, which includes America, China, Ireland are in there, Sweden are in there. So it's a mixed team, from all parts of the world. Strong team, and we'll put a strong team out there. We'll have 3 European medalists boxing that evening, and it'll be a real good occasion. And we'll learn something about our boxers like we always do. And there'll be some real good fights and some real good fighters on display.
And do the women train with you ahead of London 2012, Rob?
Yeah, the women train with us. They've been in now for a few months. They're in China at the moment. They're flying back tomorrow. They've had a really successful training camp over there, and the girls have been doing great since they came in. Some experienced girls we have already, but really pleased with them. They've moved on quicker than I thought they would. The World Championships are coming up now in September. They may be 6-9 months too early for us, but we'll have three girls at the Olympic weights in place for that, and we're looking to do well out there and nick a medal.
And it's a good united team, is it? The men think the women deserve their place in the games.
I think the fellas in the studio know that the men with the women, they'll look for 2 minutes and then they're all boxers in the gym and they just get on with it, and it's a big gymnasium in Sheffield. So once they're in the gym, whether they're men or women, it's irrelevant, really.
And you're going to throw Carl Froch into the mix, are you, next week? That's where he's going to be doing his training ahead of the fight.
Well, Carl trains in Sheffield and he works alongside the boxers. That's where he came from. He boxed for England. He was a world bronze medalist, and they relate to him. He relates to them. It's good for them, and it's good for him to keep him on his toes. So it's good to have top international boxers and a boxer of the calibre of Carl Froch training together. It can only add for the boxers and for himself.
Rob, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rob.
See you, Rob.
Cheers.
Robert
Thanks.
McCracken there.